don't stop caring. As long as you've got a voice, don't ever stop.
Oh, that's right. Don't ever stop talking. That's what I say. And I have a very, very, very special guest with us here today. I've got Kenzie Mullet and her very courageous daughter, Rosie Mullet, right here on the line with us here this morning. We're going to be talking about Miracle Day right here at the DQ and their Blizzard promotion. But I wanted to talk to Kenzie and Rosie, if she decides to talk to us, who is her 3-year-old daughter, to talk about her experience at the Prisma Children's Hospital, since that's where all the money is going to go that is raised at Blizzard Day at Dairy Queen today. So, Kenzie, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's Miss Rosie this morning?
She's doing good. She's playing, just being her normal self so far.
I know this has to have been a most scary experience for you and your husband and your family, and there certainly has been such an outpouring of love out there in Hodges. I mean, the prayer vigil, all the things that they're doing, the raffles, the meal train. This has to have been pretty tough, though, to be in this situation.
Yes, but we have had an overwhelming amount of support.
Well, I think that is terrific, and that's what the sense of community is about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So what was the pre? I mean, I know Rosie's had a kidney removed, but how did y'all know that this was what the situation was?
So Rosie had been sick for a little while. She had been running some fevers just kind of sporadically. She'd run a fever for a couple days, and then it would go away and come back. And it was about almost 2.5 weeks. We didn't really know what was causing them. You know, we went back and forth with ear infections, something viral. And, you know, your mama instinct just, you know, tells you when something's wrong.
Right.
We, you know, took her to the emergency room here in Abbeville. They checked her out, you know, again, thought it was something viral, you know, didn't really, you know, see anything. Couple days later, she was still running a fever. I took her to the urgent care in Greenwood, and they actually tested her for mono. And for some reason, that came back positive. We're still not sure if she actually had mono or if it was a false positive.
Right.
But with her having abdominal pain, they wanted to check her spleen because one of the side effects for mono, your spleen can swell. So we just happened to end up in Greenville at the Children's Hospital for them to do an ultrasound of her spleen. And they happened to ultrasound her whole abdomen. The ER doctor just wanted, you know, to take a look at everything, her liver and everything. And they caught a grapefruit-sized mass on her kidney. It was several other masses, but, you know, the one largest one being the size of a grapefruit. So we went in for mono, and we ended up with an almost 1-week admission. Came home one less kidney.
Wow. And this is very, very rare, this type of cancer, isn't it?
Yeah, they say usually around 1 in 600 children has Wilms.
Wow. And so that must have started the ball rolling with a lot of really scary thoughts on your part, you and your husband, and you're looking at your little girl who is so cute and so vivacious and everything. That had to be so tough.
It was very hard. Yes, ma'am. It was. We went in on a Saturday, and by the time we got admitted Saturday night, you know, most of the oncologists and all your important people had gone home. So that first night was pretty scary, but we got a lot of reassuring answers that next day. We had a really good team of surgeons and oncologists, and they really got the ball rolling. We had some, you know, tests done Sunday. The very next day, they were, you know, checking the rest of her body to make sure it hadn't spread, and then they had a surgery plan and were ready to rock and roll early Monday morning.
Wow. Now that's moving pretty fast, isn't it?
Yes, they definitely said that since it's such a fast-growing tumor that you don't want to wait. They wanted to get it out as soon as possible.
Wow. Well, that is tremendous. Now, being at the Children's Hospital there in Prisma, you know, just having one roughly, 50 miles away, what a blessing that has been for your family.
Absolutely. It's been huge. They're part of the Children's Oncology Group, which is really impressive. That means that whether we were, to go to St. Jude or Chomp or any of the other hospitals, all of those doctors are consulting on Rosie's case. So it doesn't matter where we go. We know that we're receiving great care and that, she wouldn't receive any other treatment at another hospital. They all consult on the children's cases as a team.
I did not know that. That is tremendous. Now, so then Rosie had the surgery, and how long was she in the hospital?
She was in the hospital for, I think, 6 days, 6 days. It's kind of a blur.
Right. And then she came home and they set up a chemo schedule. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. She's had 3 rounds of chemo.
And how is Rosie Strong Mullet doing?
She is doing really good. She gets a little nervous, about she has to have a little finger poke for labs and stuff when we go and they access report. And she gets a little nervous, but she does really good with it after. The Children's Hospital is always showering her with toys and little treats and things like that. They have things to keep them distracted, movies and PlayStations and all the things to help make it a better experience.
Yes, you were telling me that they were so excellent at diverting her attention, I think is what you said yesterday.
Yes, they do really good. They try to, keep her sidetracked while they're doing all the things so that she's not paying attention to it. They always have something fun for her to do to kind of distract her.
Wow. That is so terrific. Now, when faced with a decision like this, I understand that one of the things that we are blessed with in our area, just to have a Prisma Children's Hospital, 50 miles, a little over an hour away, instead of having to go to some of these other hospitals, number one, from an economic standpoint, and to be able to come home at night and sleep in your own bed, that just has to have been a big boon, too.
Oh, yes, that's huge. It's so helpful that we can drive up there for treatment and come home and she can rest and, in her own house, and we're not having to stay away from our family and our support system and things like that.
That's right. So now, when I called you about this Blizzard Day, you said you thought Rosie might like this idea.
Oh, yeah.
She'd like some blizzards, huh? And the thing about the blizzards that we're doing through Dairy Queen, the thing that we are doing here is this money will go to the Children's Prisma Hospital up there in Greenville. And yesterday we had Emily on, who was in the development on the foundation board, and she was telling this that all the money that is raised through Dairy Queen, there's about 18 of them in their area that will get the money from these Dairy Queens. She said this potentially could help pay off the new addition or new wing, the redo that they've done up there. Have you seen any of the redo? They say they're real close, about 2 months away to finishing up this redo that they're doing at the expansion they're doing at the Children's Hospital.
Yes, ma'am. So I haven't actually got to see it. So we were actually, since they're redoing that part of the hospital, the hematology and oncology unit for pediatrics, they actually had them temporarily in the main hospital because that's one of the areas that they're redoing. So we didn't get to see it. We were in kind of, the old hospital, the main part. But I'm sure we'll get to see it, and I'm sure it's wonderful. And, we're so thankful that all the people that, come out and support things like this and help the children in that unit. It's really incredible. You don't think your child's going to need it, and you don't think about it until it, happens to you and your family, and then you're extremely grateful for all the support from the community.
Absolutely. Now, Kenzie, while I have you on the phone, is there anything the community can do for you and your daughter Rosie and your husband Cooper? Is there anything we can do for you out there?
Just continue to pray for us. Continue to pray that Rosie continues to feel good throughout treatment and has minimal side effects, and that we can just get through these next, 6 months or so with, little side effects, and
Sure.
as easy as it possibly could be. Just continued prayers.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly will continue that. And, the one thing about children is they are pretty darn resilient. That is for sure. So let's hope that Rosie, Rosie continues to do great and is strong out there. And I know that as a parent, it has to be so difficult on you, but be strong. Be strong, Kenzie.
Yes, and we definitely have a great support system. We couldn't do it without our family, and our family being so close. We're, so thankful that they're right here to help us.
Absolutely. So I don't suppose Rosie would like to say anything to us on the radio here today, would she?
Rosie, would you like to say something on the radio? What would you like to say? Go dogs. She said, go dogs.
Go dogs. Well, you can tell what's important. Football, right?
I'm sure her daddy loved that.
Well, that'll be a keeper for sure. You'll be able to go back and access that on Facebook because we're on Facebook Live right now. That is so cute. Well, listen, I know we're going to get you a supply of blizzards, so when you feel the need for some blizzards, you can run right up here to the Dairy Queen. Saif there wanted you to come out, and I had to explain that you were trying to keep everything very germ-free as you can be, because this is a compromised immune system. But I know that if you could be there, you would be right there at Dairy Queen, wouldn't you, today?
Yes, and Rosie saw the bounce houses. She would love to get on those, but we have not been cleared from surgery to jump on the bounce houses. So we would definitely be using our coupons. So.
Well, that is great. Well, we're going to get you a supply of blizzards, and we wish Rosie all the best, and our prayers go out to you, your husband, and Rosie, and keep up the good work. Now, if anybody would like to make I know you had a meal train going, and have you had that, they were doing a fundraiser for a raffle.
Yes, I think they're getting ready to draw for both raffles this weekend.
Okay. And
I think we're going to do those on Saturday.
On Saturday. Okay. Well, there are some fantastic prizes, if I do say so myself.
Yes, there's some really good prizes. It was a fishing trip and 2 guns.
Right. Now, let's see. Is that maybe on your Facebook page, or where could we find that?
They are. You can. I've shared them several times. You can find those on my Facebook page.
Okay, and that's is it Kenzie Mullet? Is that your Facebook page, Kenzie?
Yes, ma'am.
Mullet. So you can't miss it. But if you want to get in on a fantastic fishing trip, I can't believe this. Somebody's going to be really, really lucky. And I know it's going to help you and your family so much. So keep that Rosie girl we'll keep Rosie girl in our prayers. And thank you so much for calling in. And this is why people need to go buy blizzards today. Is that what you would say, Kenzie?
Absolutely. Please support our local children's hospital at their Dairy Queen.
That's right. This is
a great thing that they're doing. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for calling in this morning, Kenzie. And Rosie, go dogs! Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. That was Kenzie Mullet with her daughter Rosie right up there in Hodges. I think they have showed incredible strength and resiliency, which is what life is all about. And Rosie just takes on this as a champ. But again, the reason for Blizzard Miracle Day at Blizzard at the local DQ, buying blizzards, why is it so important? It's because of little girls like Rosie and other children who are getting excellent care. And the big thing that you should look at is the fact that there is a children's hospital 50 miles away, right up there in Greenville, that if a child needs treatment, yes, there are certain ones that are staying in the hospital, but there are a whole lot that are getting treatment. I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think that Emily, that was on with us yesterday, said that they at that hospital see over 500,000 patients for the children's hospital. I think that's what she said. That is a huge contribution. The other thing that this Prisma Children's Hospital is, as far as the range, it goes all the way almost to Charlotte is the next closest children's hospital, and I think Atlanta is the other end of the spectrum. So when you look at it, this children's hospital, the Prisma Children's Hospital, certainly sees a lot of children. And as I said, 2 months from now, they hope to have that wing, that new wing open. They actually are doing a playroom just for children with this is a oncology and blood diseases addition that they're adding there. So please support us today. It's what I call a win-win. Why do I say it's a win-win? It's a win because you get a blizzard or 2 or 3, and the Children's Hospital through the Miracle Network up there gets the advantage of, I think it's about $1, at least $1 donation from each blizzard that is sold. Last year, Saif and his team raised over $5,400 right here out of Greenwood. This year, they're hoping to do about $6,500. You can help. You can help. And I also want you to think about the fact that you can buy more than one blizzard and get a coupon for it and come back and use it at a future date. I also am high on the idea of giving them out as little birthday gifts. Put it in a card with a coupon for this. Wouldn't you like to get that for your birthday? If you have a church group or a sports group or a book reading group or any type of group, and you'd like to treat your group, go ahead and get the coupons and then use them when you like. If you have an event coming up and you say, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, I know, blizzards would be so cool. You can keep the coupons and use them futuristically. But in order to be counted for this Blizzard Miracle Day fundraising day at Dairy Queen, they must be purchased today. So please make sure that you purchase them today. So there you go. All right, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. Hope you are enjoying the fact that we had Rosie and Kenzie Mullet on with us, and that is a local story that should make you want to get out and buy blizzards to help support all children who are suffering terrible diseases, cancer, blood, all these different diseases they treat right there at the Prisma Children's Hospital. All right, so I'm right here with you now, and we thank them for calling in this morning, and hope Rosie has a great day, and hope the dogs do good this year. Rosie's counting on them. There you go. All right, let's talk about a few other things here this morning. What are we going to talk about? What time is it? 9:53 in the morning. Okay, looks like the heat wave may have broken. We're still going to get up to about 95, I think, 95. But come this weekend, we're supposed to be, what, in the mid-70s? Oh, my God. Mid-70s? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We've got a lot of prayers coming in for Rosie here this morning. Thank you, everybody, for that. And again, check out their Facebook page. Kenzie Mullet, Mullet. And if you'd like to get in on that raffle that they're having, oh, my God. There is a trip down to the coast to go big sea fishing. This is fabulous. Plus, like she said, they have 2 guns that they'll also be raffling off. So this is an opportunity to help. These are those win-win promotions. You're giving money and you're on the raffles, you're potentially going for the big win. But for sure, if you buy blizzards today, it's a win-win because you get your blizzard and And you're helping the Children's Hospital. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Fed thing yesterday. You know, one of the things that I have never really understood is what that number that the Fed does. But the Federal Reserve directly controls the federal funds rate, also known as the Fed funds rate. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Anyways, it's the interest rate banks charge each other for overnight loans of reserve balances held at the Federal Reserve. A lot of people don't know. Banks, if they have enough money, they can put their money over there and what do they call it? They used to call it sweeps. I don't know what they call it now. But they actually used to sweep accounts, and people were making money overnight on other banks and whatever using that money. The Fed sets a target range rather than a fixed number. So what this does, it's not the interest rate you and I pay, but what it does, it affects the prime rate, which is usually based on the Fed funds rate, usually about plus 3%. It presents credit cards, auto loans, mortgage rates, savings, and CD rates. So the Fed uses it to control inflation, stimulate or cool the economy, and manage employment goals. So this is what this rate is. It's really a bottom rate, and they set a range. They don't set it exactly so that it can vary a little bit. Of course, President Trump has said, lower the darn rates, and so far, Jerome Powell has said, no, I'm not going to lower the rates. And Trump, of course, is now they're thinking that maybe in September something will happen. The thing that was unusual about this Fed meeting is two of the federal bank regulators said, let's lower the rate. And this is the first time, I think they said, since 1993, since this has happened. So this has been a long time since there's been any disagreement on it. So if you are thinking, what's the big deal about it? It's a big deal. It affects the car loan. Although, with the new tax bill that the big beautiful bill that they just passed, your taxable interest is deductible. So that'll make a difference. But it still is affecting mortgages in a big way. Of course, it affects your credit cards. I would have bet money on the fact that the Fed would not have lowered the rate after that interaction with Trump and Jerome Powell at the rebuilding of the Fed building, the uplift that they're doing there. I would have bet money. I still think when you look at the pictures of Jerome Powell and President Trump standing there together with their hard hats on, it reminds me of Laurel and Hardy. I just can't get that image out of my brain. I actually posted a picture of that. I don't know. Do I have that picture still there? Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Doesn't that, if you're watching us on Facebook, you can see this picture of Laurel and Hardy standing there together. Just reminds me of Trump and Jerome Powell standing together. Anyways, that's just something fun that I came up with the other day after seeing that. All right, so that's one issue that is going on, one thing that is going on of interest. Also, Nancy Mace made a post. She's looking to enter the governor's race. I mean, I think she keeps putting her toe in like she's testing the waters, right? Testing the waters. But we'll see if she actually gets in there. We have so many people getting ready to jump in on this. Let's see. What was I going to tell you about this? God, I get so many emails here. Let's see, where is it? I know how I can find it. Easy, here we go. There you go. Where is it? About this guy, Dane, that is getting into... No, it's not Dane Pruitt. No, it's not Dane Pruitt. But we are talking about a... There you go. We're live on the radio and on Facebook. And so that was the announcement that it's 10 o'clock in the city and you are listening to WCRS. You're also with us on Facebook here this morning. But down in Charleston area, the man described as the key architect of President Trump's America First agenda officially announced, what was it, yesterday, day before. So this adds another duck on the pond trying to take on Lindsey Graham. Man described as the key architect of Donald Trump's America First agenda officially announced his candidacy for U.S. Senate in Charleston on Wednesday morning. Paul Daines, the author of Project 25, is looking to unseat U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham in 2026, telling the crowd that he is just like them. Dan says he got into politics because God had given me certain gifts and there was no choice for me to sit this one out. We have a country to save. I'm not going to watch our great land fall apart, he said. I feel called to stand up. In a statement prior to the announcement, he said that Lindsey Graham has betrayed South Carolina conservatives for the last time, accusing him of scheming with the D.C. swamp to send billions overseas and push for endless wars. This is what this Paul Daines says. Senator Graham stands for three things: endless war, endless government, and endless spending. But here at home in South Carolina, we have crumbling infrastructure, failing schools, clogged highways, and broken roads. All the while, Senator Graham jets around the world at taxpayer expense, promising foreign dictators your children's inheritance. He called Graham a 70-year-old childless warmonger with no stake in the country's future. Well, I think that's a little harsh. My God. By contrast, Daines says he's been at work helping Trump implement his America First agenda that's reshaping America into the country we've always dreamed of. He touted his work in the first Trump administration as a White House liaison to the Office of Personnel Management, saying he became known as one of Trump's most effective and loyal appointees. Interesting. My work at OBM changed the game and set in motion a revolution today that has given birth to reforms like the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which is incredible to see in action, he said. I am the architect of this little thing we call Project 25 that was the operating manual on how to take the deep state down and unelected bureaucracy and restore our federal government to one of, by, and for the people. So, this is something that is going to bring another side to this war. How do you feel? Do you feel Lindsey Graham represents South Carolina to the best of his ability? There are two things about Lindsey Graham that I think are important. Number one, we in South Carolina may not always like what Lindsey Graham does. And Lindsey Graham does seem to waffle sometimes on some of the issues. But the one thing you can say about Lindsey Graham is he has a lot of power. And when that power is necessary to use, he can use it. whoever the person is, if there is a person that can bring Lindsey Graham down, they will have a steep learning curve to get there. Number two or number three in this, the President Trump has given Lindsey Graham, one of their chief political analysts, political people that knows how to win campaigns, is now working on Senator Graham's campaign. So this is going to be an interesting fight. One thing I'm excited about is the potential for radio advertising. I'll just be perfectly frank. I like the idea that they're already starting to radio advertise, and we've already gotten some of those dollars. So, and it says that, and President Trump at this moment has given Lindsey Graham his complete and total endorsement. I tell you another thing that is also true is that Lindsey Graham has who's he have? Tim Scott and Governor Henry McMaster also as the chair his 2026 campaign run. He's amassed millions of dollars in his campaign account. This would be a huge knockdown. Now, this, of course, will be in the Republican primary. This is going to be the primary. So, officially, people that are entering the race, whether it's for the governor's race or for the Senate race with Lindsey Graham, will have to enter the campaign in March. So, there's a lot of finagling that can go on between now and March. But Lindsey Graham has positioned himself for a fight. He's also got millions of dollars in his campaign war chest. And I'm hoping to get some of that money. I'll just be perfectly frank. I am hoping to get some of that money. I've started to get some of that money. I'm hoping to get it in a big way. But again, the big race, in my opinion, depending on who the Democrats put up, but the big race is going to be from March until June next year, when this is when the primary will be. Once we get through the primary, depending on who the Democrats put up as their candidate to try to take Lindsey Graham down. We saw how successful that was with Jamie Harrison. Not very successful, but economically a real boon to Ann Eller. I'll just say that. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had Lindsey Graham running and spending all that money. I've told you all this story before. Jeff was dying, and Lindsey Graham's office kept calling and saying, "Can you run more ads?" And my guy at the time was saying, "Ann, we don't have any more room." I said, "Take the news out. We don't need the news. Let's run the ads." And it is thanks to Lindsey Graham that WCRS is still on the air today. That doesn't mean that I have ultimate loyalty to Lindsey Graham. It is just stating a fact. It is stating a fact. But one of the things you have to consider is Lindsey Graham has a lot of power, and South Carolina, even being a small state, has a lot of power because of Lindsey Graham. It will be a hard-fought race, whoever goes up against them, and they will be spending a ton of money. So Lieutenant Governor Andre Bauer has also jumped in the race. Haven't really seen much from Andre at this moment. And South Carolina businessman Mark Lynch has jumped in the race from the Republican side. However, on the Democratic side is Dr. Annie Andrews. She has announced her campaign. She's down in the Charleston, down there on the coast area. And she has some different views. If you're interested, you can check that one out. And you know, WCRS, we will be getting you all this information. I just think it is just a little early. Just a little early. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you here this morning. All right. Now, we've talked about the Fed. We've talked about Lindsey Graham. We've talked about Paul Daines entering the race. And he seems to think that he will get a lots and lots of support from the MAGA people on this. I think I don't know. Do you think he would get that much support? 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. If you'd like to make a comment, or if you're on Facebook, how do you think the MAGA crowd, will support this Paul Daines? I don't know. Since Lindsey Graham has already sewed up President Trump's endorsement, and the governor, McMaster, and Senator Tim Scott are also chairing his campaign. He's got a lot of well-connected people. It'll be interesting to see if anybody can actually take down Lindsey Graham as he goes to battle for another, 6 years? I think 6 years in the Senate. And I also think that he has become very aware of the fact that he needs to spend more time on our state. So we'll be getting an interview with Lindsey Graham very, very soon to bring you. All right, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. I got a couple of fun stories here today. Let's see, let's go back. Does anybody, I have asked this question forever. All right, what do the little duckies mean on all these Jeeps, right? Well, finally, somebody has written an article about this, and I wanted to share it because you see all these little duckies in all these Jeeps, and why do Jeep owners have rubber duckies on their dashboards? I think this is just a fascinating story. And so I thought I would share it with you. If you've ever spotted a Jeep with a tiny rubber ducky perched on the dashboard, hood, or mirror and thought, what's going on here? Is it some prank or something? We are not alone. It's not random, and it's definitely not a joke. And it says, welcome to the surprisingly wholesome, joy-filled tradition of Duck Duck Jeep. A grassroots movement fueled by kindness, community, and yes, a whole lot of little rubber duckies. This started as a single, I didn't know the story of this. I've asked people that have all these duckies. What started as a single good deed in Canada has grown into a worldwide Jeep community tradition, with ducks now riding shotgun on everything from bone stock renegades to trail-ready Wranglers. It's silly sweet and strangely contagious. If you're not a Jeep owner, it might just make you wish you were. This article breaks down what it means to get ducked, how the tradition took off, and why it continues to bring smiles in parking lots and gas stations across the country. So it started in Canada, not on TikTok, and it started when it started back in 2020, July of 2020, in Ontario, Canada, when a Jeep owner, Allison Parlemont, decided to spread a little kindness during a difficult time. She placed a small rubber duck on a stranger's parked Jeep, along with a handwritten note meant to brighten their day. It was just a simple and spontaneous gesture, just one person reaching out to another in a joyful and unexpected way. That was back in July of 2020. And what happened next? Allison shared the experience online, and Jeepers everywhere loved the idea. Within days, others began carrying their own rubber ducks and placing them on fellow Jeep owners' vehicles in parking lots, on trails, and at meetups. It became a playful way to connect, lift spirits, and say, hey, nice Jeep. Well, this person, Allison, has passed away. Her legacy continues to grow. Every time a duck appears on a fender, dashboard, or mirror, it carries the spirit of that first act of kindness. Isn't that cool? I just think that is so cool. Jeep owners across North America and beyond have turned Duck Duck Jeep into more than a fun tradition. It serves as a reminder that small gestures still matter, and even the quirkiest ideas can help build a community. They call it ducking. I did not know this. See, this I just learned so much. And it's a verb now, ducking. So in Jeep circles, ducking has officially become a verb. To duck someone means placing a rubber duck, often accompanied by a short note on their vehicle as a fun and friendly surprise. It is a lighthearted way to say, I see you, fellow Jeeper, and to spread a bit of unexpected joy. So there you go. That is the story. And now when you see people with all these little duckies on their dashboard, you understand. It was an act of kindness, and people to this day continue this tradition of putting little rubber duckies on people's Jeeps. Does say to be careful. You don't want to put it on painted air. You don't want to mess up their vehicle or something. Some people take little notes and put them with it, but I never knew that, and now I do. We'll see if anybody has anything. To say about ducking. So now when I say I'm going ducking, I have to get little ducks and go out and put them on Jeeps all around. Isn't that cool? I just think that is so cool. That is the type of thing that, we just need, right? And even if you don't put a note, you can also just put the little rubber ducky, and people know that you're thinking of them. And yes, and it says, yes, there are Duck Jeep Facebook groups. That's right. So the original Duck Jeep group has grown into a massive online community with nearly 100,000 Jeepers who share photos of their latest ducks, swap stories about surprise duckings, and offer tips on ducking etiquette. There are also regional groups. Jeep Owners Connect, plan meetups, and trade ducks with personalized tags or local flair. The trend has given rise to a thriving community where the rubber duck is the handshake. So how about that? Is that cool? I just thought that was cool, and I thought that was something. And also, just FYI, that this is not sponsored by Jeep, but they do approve of the action. So it didn't start in a boardroom. It started as one person simply saying, have a nice day. And but they have certainly taken it as a good thing. And some people have thousands of ducks on them. Other people don't have as many. How would you feel if you didn't have many duckies? You'd have to go out and buy some and go, I'm popular. Look at all the duckies I have. Anyways, I thought I would just share that story with you. I thought that was a fun story. I also have another fun story, because I'm telling you what, sometimes don't you think, sometimes the politics and everything just is so heavy. Well, I got two things, and then I'm going to be finished up. I wanted to talk about tax-free day. It starts tonight at midnight, runs through Sunday at midnight. It is your opportunity to buy items for back to school, and you're supposed to be buying for back to school. So you got it? All right. Now, every day, there are items, all kinds of items, and you actually can go to dor.sc.gov/resources to find out if items you are looking for are exempt or not. Well, the usual stuff, examples of exempt items: belts, dresses, leggings, clothing, most type, outerwear, coats, earmuffs, gloves, mittens, hats, cap, rainwear, and umbrellas and vests, schoolwear, graduation caps and gowns, sleepwear, underwear, sports exercise. But then they get into the miscellaneous things that are exempt. Belt buckles, bibs, choir robes. I don't know what that has to do with back to school, but okay. Costumes. Costumes are, it says exempt. Examples of exempt items, yes. Fabric for custom clothing, formal wear. Wigs. Wigs are tax exempt. This one, maternity clothing. And I'm surprised about this one, but this one could get me out there. pet coats and sweaters are exempt from taxes. Pocketbooks and purses, scout uniforms, work uniforms purchased by the employee. Those are some of the items that are exempt. Now, examples of taxable items. These items are taxable items along the same thing. Clothing placed on layaway is taxable. Costume rentals are taxable. However, costumes that you buy are tax-free. See, this is where, to me, it's kind of wonky. So that's formal wear rentals. Anything that's a rental, I guess, is not going to be tax exempt. Miscellaneous specialty items of taxable items. When I had sharp facets, I fought for years to get jewelry on the tax exempt list. Never worked. So it says items that are taxable, they are not, I repeat, not tax exempt. Life jackets are taxable. You can't make a case for that, unfortunately. Eyewear, contacts, and glasses. Now, there's one that I think really ought to go in the tax exempt, because if you go to buy a pair of glasses for your child to go back to school, you're spending a lot of money. Fitness tracking devices are not tax exempt. Jewelry's not. Phone cases, wallets and billfolds, watch bands, watches, and smartwatches. Now, I just want to say this. A lot of businesses, I'm going to say, quote, get around this by saying that they will actually pay the tax on something. So one of the things we used to do at Sharp Facets years ago now was we would actually pay the tax, and so the people just paid for the piece. But that was a promotion of sort. I still had to pay the tax, but the people that were buying didn't have to, and that's how some people get around that. Footwear, it says examples of taxable items. Bowling shoe rentals and shoes placed on layaway are taxable. Let's see, however, exempt items, everyday boots, flip-flops, sandals, shoes of all types, slippers. Those are ski boots. Ski boots are tax exempt during this period. Miscellaneous specialty. Diabetic shoes are tax exempt. Orthopedic shoes. Skates, ice and inline skates are tax exempt. See, sometimes when you read these lists, you go, are you sure about this? Does that make really sense? But anyways, that's what they're doing. School supplies, of course, all school supplies are. Computer supplies, earbuds, headphones, stylus, and flash drives. Items that are taxable, however, are, strollers and car seat, toys, stationery, smartphones, and cell phones are taxable. However, computers are not. Cleaning supplies are taxable. Backpacks for camping, but book bags are tax-free, but backpacks for camping are taxable. So the list goes on and on. I wanted to share that with you and make sure that you're aware this is going on. If you have any shopping you want to do and you don't want to hit the crowds, go before midnight tonight. That's the other piece of advice. But I certainly hope we're going to see you at Dairy Queen today so we can help the Prisma Children's Hospital with the Miracle Network to get this addition that they have added to their hospital up there to serve so many more children. All right, so that's one story, and it's my final story for today. Let's see, here it is. This is the big one. This is the big story. You know, so many times we just go to the grocery store, we pick up something, don't we? Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've done it, where I wanted the sugar-free version and the packaging looks the same, and I got the wrong one. Have you ever done that? Yes. Okay. Well, this is a story that was on our news station here this morning. I decided to go check it out. High Noon has voluntarily recalled Beach Variety 12 packs after discovering some cans were mistakenly labeled as Celsius Astro Vibe energy drinks, the sparkling Blue Raz edition, but were actually filled with vodka seltzer containing 4.5% alcohol content. The error stemmed from sharing packaging supplier that shipped empty Celsius cans to High Noon. Those cans were then filled with High Noon vodka seltzer and packed with the correct products, creating the risk of unintentional alcohol ingestion. Affected cans were shipped to one of the states, South Carolina. South Carolina. It was actually shipped to a lot of states. But these mislabeled cans have silver lids instead of the usual black and specific lot codes to help identify them. And so they say there's been no reported illnesses. No, people are just happy. Happy. The FDA has urged consumers to dispose of any suspicious cans with the affected lot codes and not to consume them. So if you buy that High Noon Beach Variety pack or any Celsius Astro Vibe cans for silver lids, and High Noon packs have a... what does it say? LCCC 17 July 25 and LCC 18 July 25. And then the Celsius cans have LCCB 0225. If you have one, do not drink it. Instead, dispose of it safely. Or know what you're drinking and enjoy it. It says contact High Noon Consumer Relations with a photo and a lot code for a refund and more information. But there's not really any health risk. It's just you might ingest some vodka seltzer, and there you go. That's it. But I thought, what a great story when vodka ends up in a seltzer drink that is supposed to be just a high energy drink. Yes, high energy. It's alcohol, vodka to be exact. But anyways, just to be on a more serious note, make sure that if you have bought these select Beach Variety 12 packs, High Noon has voluntarily recalled select Beach Variety 12 packs after discovering some cans were mistakenly labeled as Celsius Astro Vibe energy drinks, sparkling Blue Raz edition, but were actually filled with vodka seltzer containing 4.5% alcohol. So there you go. Never know what you might find in a can, right? Be careful out there. Stay vigilant, America. And this also was shipped in here to South Carolina. It went to a lot of other states, but South Carolina was one of them. So I thought I should mention this out of the fact, if you have one of those cans, enjoy responsibly. That's what I have to say. Now, in all seriousness, be careful out there. All right, as I get ready to close it out, I want you to know I'll be up there this afternoon. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live, and so we'll be having a good time doing that. Hopefully somewhere around 6:30, I'll be up there doing Facebook Live, checking everything out. So you really need to make sure you put me in your notifications. Now, we're not going to be on the radio, but we will be doing a little Facebook Live. So make sure that you put under your notifications, there's a way to accept all notifications, so you'll hear about it and then you can, or you'll be notified and then you can tune in. Regardless of that, please go out to Dairy Queen today. Today is the day where every Blizzard sold, and regardless of what else you buy from Dairy Queen today, and you know they got a lot of good stuff, make sure you buy at least one Blizzard, because every Blizzard sold will help them become huge in this doing this. Saif over there has spared no expense in coming out with a way to make this exciting for everybody to come out. So between 5 and 8, they'll be having all kinds of activities for children. But this program goes on all day long. So please make sure you get out there. If you want to go for lunch, buy some blizzards. If you want to get some blizzards and take them back to the office, that's cool. If you want to buy a bunch of blizzards and just put them, get the coupons and use them as little gifts, little pick-me-ups for someone that needs it, that's a great idea too. Those will be available today at Dairy Queen, your local Dairy Queen. And I need to say a big shout out to Saif and his staff over there at Dairy Queen. They have worked really hard. Saif has a heart for the Children's Hospital. He thinks this is a great promotion. And this has been something that has been a partnership with Miracle Network and Dairy Queen for many, many, many years. It's it's a very successful one-day promotion. So today's the day. If you don't want to have your blizzard, but you want to help, just get a coupon for one blizzard, 5 blizzard, 10 blizzard, 20 blizzards, and they'll give you coupons to come back and use them. That's going to do it for me right here on WCRS. Oh, before I forget, I had a rough day yesterday. I'm just going to admit it. I had a rough day. Penny, of course, had been spayed the day before. She doesn't seem to realize there's anything wrong with her. She thinks she still is agile and she should be jumping and doing all this stuff. And they told me to keep her quiet. Do you realize how hard it is to keep Penny Eller quiet? She is like a little Energizer bunny every day. But I got through yesterday. She's doing just fine. I have finally gotten, somebody had told me this idea about pool noodles around her neck so she can't get to the incision there. Well, I had the pool noodles that you see today are all really small, aren't they? And so I had actually put 2 sets of pool noodles on her. As I had to go out for a little bit. I left her with 2 sets on. When I came back, she had managed to slide one off over her head, and she had her paw stuck in the other, but she couldn't get that one over, and so she'd been sitting there. I wasn't gone that long, maybe an hour, hour and a half, sitting there with her paw through the pool noodle trying to get it out. Well, she wasn't getting at her incision, so I guess that's a win. So I went and somebody gave me some of the old pool noodles that are really thick and everything. And now Penny is running around. She looks like a St. Bernard with this pool noodle underneath her neck. I've got 3 of them on it, but it's the old style, and it looks like she's carrying a bottle of or a canister of alcohol on it. She looks like a St. Bernard. That's the only thing I can describe with this pink pool noodle around her neck. Very successful, very successful. So FYI, if you are doing this, the older style pool noodles, the bigger ones, seem to work a lot better. I'll keep you updated. Have a great day. I hope to see you later today at Dairy Queen, where it's a win-win situation. Get a blizzard, enjoy a blizzard, and then a donation will be made for each blizzard sold at Dairy Queen today. Have a great day. I appreciate you all very much. And I did want to say, we now are at, 900 likes? Is that right? 900 likes. I think that was what I wanted to do. And somebody finally hit it. So I now am at 900 likes on our WCRS 98.5 FM /1450 AM. If you want to see this video again, it is, of course, on our Facebook page. If you're not a Facebooker, but you'd like to see it again, at tomorrow, late tonight, tomorrow morning, it will be on our Facebook, on our website at WCRS1450am.net. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day. Take it away. We are out of here for today, but I'll be back in the morning. Let's go. Bye-bye, everybody. Well, that one is just look.
Keep on sharing.
The phones are open.
Keep on laughing.
Give us a call.
You gotta keep on caring. As long as you've got a voice, don't ever stop. As long as you've got truth, don't ever stop.
You're on the air.
As long